calling in from Dubai. Hi Shankar, what's your question?
Good morning, Samina. This is Shankar. My question is, I'm holding Pidilite Industries. Hello?
Yes, Shankar, we can hear you. Pidilite Industries is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm holding. I got it on the IPO 15 years ago, so I've been holding it for a long time. Now, I've got a couple of times bonus also. So I just want to know, should I book profits or should I stay invested?
Right, Shankar, obviously it was a pretty good buy for you. The stock's doing decently well. I mean, you've seen good returns as well, but we'll tell you what you should do with it going ahead. There you go. You could look at buying some more, Shankar, if you want. Don't consider even booking your profits at this point of time. Hitesh, what are you making of it? In the last 1 year or so, the stock has more than doubled. Are you expecting this trend to continue? Will the investor continue to see such good returns?
Samina, I agree with Ashish's view, and I'd like to congratulate the investor on being patient and having chosen a counter which has given such a good up move in the last 15 years. The stock is clearly in an uptrend. It's making a pattern of higher tops and bottoms, which as per Dow theory is very, very bullish. What Shankar could do is keep a stop loss of 130, and as the stock continues moving upwards, could trail the stop loss such that it's 10% below the highest high. So this way he could ride the rally if it continues, but at the same time get an exit in case the trend changes. So my current view is to hold on and keep a trading stop loss from here.
Yes, it is actually very important, Shankar, to keep a very, very close eye on a stock where you're sitting on huge profits as well. Let's take the next question. This one comes from Mr. George. He joins us from Bangalore. Hi, Mr. George. Good morning, sir. What's your question?
Hello?
Hi, what's your question, ma'am?
Yes? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. Do you have a stock question we can help you with?
Yeah, ma'am. I got a stock of BEL60 that is purchased at the rate of 2066. Recently, that is in February. What should I do with this?
You're talking about BHEL or BEL? Alright, BEL bought at 2066, that's Vijaya Pai. I think we had the callers a little confused there. We apologize for that, ma'am, to you and of course to our viewers as well. 60 of BEL bought at 2066. Lot of competition in this space from private players, and that's been the biggest overhang on BEL.
Yes, but currently you could hold on.
Hitesh, the stock's looking pretty okay on the charts. It's been gaining strength. Do you think it's worth holding on to for more money to be made?
I think we could hold on. The chart's looking fairly decent now. We could hold on to see 20 to 25% gains from here and keep a stop loss of around 5% from the current level. So although this chart is in an uptrend, and we could see a 15 to 20% gain from this level.
Well, that's a clear hold coming in on BEL. Technically and fundamentally, that's a hold on that stock. Next up as well, we've got a query from George, I believe. He calls in from Bangalore. Hi, sir. What's your question?
Sabina, good morning to you.
Good morning, George.
My question is, I have 450 of GIC Housing Finance bought at 134 2 weeks back. I want to know what are the short-term and medium-term high levels for this stock.
The upside, Ashish, indicating that try and book your profits, of course, on the next rally that you see on GIC Housing. There are better opportunities in the housing finance space if you want to play that. Hitesh, do you agree? Because the stock has not done too badly. Recently, we saw quite a bit of gains coming in the last month or so. 20% is what the stock has managed to take in. What is it looking like when you talk about the short-term and the medium-term trend? What kind of a target should George be expecting, rather?
Samina, I am currently very bullish on this counter. It's in a well-established trend. It's broken out of a range which it was in that particular range since June 2009. So I would advise George to remain invested, keep a stop loss of 115 and ride this trend for a potential target of around 200 to 210 in the next 6 to 9 months.
Well, that's a sell from one of our analysts, but of course Hitesh believes that you can hold on to GIC Housing. A lot of people believe that there is a valuation gap between GIC Housing and larger players like LIC Housing, etc. So this could narrow down at least on just the overall appetite for the stock. Next up, we've got Mr. Nalathambi joining us from Chennai. Hi, Mr. Nalathambi. Good morning, sir. What's your question?
Good morning, ma'am. Hello, good morning. Yes.
Good morning. What's your question, sir?
Madam, I bought 30 shares of Kipla at the rate of 333, madam.
Okay.
At the current market price, can I average it or what is the future prospects, madam?
Well, so if you're asking us a question that can you average it, you definitely intend to hold it for the long term. Nothing really wrong with the company. In fact, Q1 numbers, Ashish, some people said they were disappointing. Others said they actually beat street estimates, 6.5%. Last 6 months or so, it's just completely range bound.
The charts currently are looking bearish, so I've got an exit or a sell signal on this. And if the investors wanting to have some exposure to the healthcare sector, I would advise Dr. Reddy's or Aurobindo Pharma. But Cipla currently is looking bearish, and there is a lot of potential downside from here if things continue to get more bearish. So my suggestion would be to exit this counter now.
Well, that's a sell coming in on Cipla. Technically, that's of course the view. Next up, we've got R. Jairam Chandran. He's a retiree as well, calling in from Chennai. Hi, sir. What's your question? So this is Samina from NDTV Profit. What's your question? Okay, I'm not sure whether the investor can hear us, but we'll take a quick break on that note. We'll come back and try and get back in touch with the investor and take up his query on sales. So stay with us. Nearly 1% higher. Whether the market's firm, global cues are not looking too bad either, and it is a broad-based rally. So it's looking good for the Lal Street this Thursday morning. Just moving on from the markets, let's go back to Mr. Jai Ramchandran, who joins us on a phone line from Chennai. Hi, sir. We're trying to get in touch with you. What is your query? I believe you've got one on sale.
I hold 200 shares of sale, bought an average price of 236. So my query would be to advise a little to hold on, or should I invest further to average out, or should I get out of it?
Right, sale is what you own and you purchased it at about 236 rupees. Ashish, what is your advice for the investor?
Can buy more.
There you go, Mrs. Jairam Chandran. Ashish advising you to continue to holding on to sale, and if you do have extra cash lying around, you could look at averaging out the count and buying some more of sale at the current market price. Hitesh, your call on this counter. What is the kind of target you're watching out for? Is it worthwhile to average out, and if yes, what kind of a price should the investor be doing it at?
Samina, I am currently bearish on this counter and I would advise the investor to exit. This counter saw a high of 295 in Jan 2008 and currently we are around 193. So my suggestion would be to sell and enter into good counters in banking, auto, or even metals like a Hindalco or something which is currently in a clearly well-established uptrend.
All right, let's welcome in our next caller. Raj Kumar joins us from New Delhi. Hi, Raj. What's your stock question?
Madam, I have IDFC 70 shares at the rate of rupees 180.
Right.
So, madam, I wish to know whether I have to hold it because I am a long investor.
Okay, so we'll take your question in just a short while. Bear with us. Inflation numbers are out and we'd like to get those numbers through. Primary articles inflation has risen and actually is at 14.85%, pardon me, versus 15.66%. That's week on week. But let me just toss it to Ira Dugal, who's standing by to run us through what she finds in these numbers. Ira, it seems to be, a little bit cooling down at least.
Absolutely, Manisha. Not bad numbers at all. Not on a year-on-year basis. The number that you mentioned, 14.85, is reflecting coming off from the 15.66 that you saw last week. But even on a weekly basis, you've seen a decline in the primary articles index, a marginal decline of 0.1%, but a decline nevertheless. The food articles index, which is, I guess, creating the most most controversy, is at 10.35. So it's still in double digits. It had slipped painfully slow, but inflation is starting to come off.
Thank you very much for updating us on that number. Yes, you rightly said it's a big relief to see at least the inflation moderating, though we'd still like it to be at least a single-digit number very, very soon. But yes, thank you very much for that analysis. Let's go across and go back to that call which we had from Rajkumar, and he wanted to know about IDFC, which he holds about 70, bought at 179 rupees. IDFC for the last 1 month or so, it's not gone anywhere, slightly slowed down. Company's doing okay. There was a capital. If he's a short-term investor, do you think he could make a little bit more money, or do you think it's okay to book the little bit of small profit he's making currently?
Currently, we are very bullish on IDFC. It's given a great up move and the stock is clearly in an uptrend. So from a short-term or a medium-term perspective, this stock is worth holding on to. From a shorter-term perspective, we could keep a stop loss of around 160 and see a target of around 220 to 240 from here. So my suggestion would be to hold on and ride this current bullishness in the overall banking and financial services area.
Well, that's the whole coming in on IDFC from Hitesh and Ashish. Well, let's go across to our segment where we give you all those picks coming in from the brokerages. We're joined by Saurabhjit Kaur Nangra, VP Research of Angel Broking, joining us from Mumbai with all his stock picks. Thanks, Saurabhjit, for joining us this morning on NDTV Profit. Saurabhjit, just to get started, I believe United first today, and